Hey there. Welcome to our monthly Q&A for Wealthy Wellness Biz Coaching. You may have seen me twice in one day wearing the same shirt. Yes, I did just get a ham sandwich and now I'm ready to go again. So we've been going through every Monday. We have our show, noon Eastern Standard Time. Every Monday you can see me here in our Facebook group. But this is a little bit more of a deeper dive and an opportunity to come and ask some questions too. So as our community continues to grow, this format may change a little bit, but I think for now, and maybe we'll change the date too if people aren't able to show up on Mondays, first Monday of the month, although we didn't get started right on time this month. Next month, we'll be doing it the first Monday of the month. And feel free to pre-populate some questions too. So send me an email, brandbetterco@gmail.com. Which reminds me, I gotta make a little note. I'm like, you know how it is sometimes. Mondays will sometimes take me like 45 minutes just to write my to-do list. So I'm going to take that opportunity to just make a little bit of a note to myself. It's something I'm going to actually share it with you because it's something that I've seen other business owners do, and I think it's a really good idea. So I want to go in and take my personal email, my personal business email. So brandbetterco@gmail.com is the one that I use mostly to just communicate back and forth with people. And put a parentheses personal. So it says Nicole Harlow personal because our clients can be subscribed to like a couple different mailing lists of ours. And I want to make sure that they know that it's not a mailing list, but it's actually a personal email from me about our project. So that's just a little bit of a little note that I'm making myself over there. But I thought maybe that might help some of you too. Especially if you have a mailing list and you're writing back and forth with your clients or your patients, it might be nice to have like a personal, somehow distinguish the email that you use that's personal, so then they know to, open that one that's specifically for them. Anyway, totally getting sidetracked here. Today, I thought that what we could do, especially for our very first Q&A, because we've been going through a lot of different like tools and platforms and what our recommendations are and where you should be. I wanted to go through and just do like a pretty high level overview of the systems that I think that you need to have in your business to have a successful business and just to have almost like a checklist. It's the kind of thing that I wish I had when I was starting my business, because I was like, I don't know what I need. I don't know if I need what like almost like departments that I need in my business, and then also like what kind of systems and tools do I need in my business too. So today we're going to do like the highest level bird's eye view of on two levels the systems. One is just like the systems that you need in your business in general, and then the other one is kind of like you break that down, like what kind of tools, systems. And you'll see what I'm talking about when you see the graphics. So I'm into pretty graphics, so I wanted to make sure you could see it visually, and you could just take this and just check box it right down the line and make sure that you have all of these things. And if you've been in business, this might give you a good indication of some things that are missing in your business too. If you look through and you're like, I'm missing this this piece of it, or I'm not spending a lot of time on this piece of it, I think it could really help there too. So we'll start off with just the bird's eye view of all of the bigger systems that you need, the interlocking parts, and then we'll move on to the specifics. So let me share my screen so you can get this nice graphic up and going. Okay, over to Canva. So this is at a glance the top level systems that you need for your business. And we're going to go through these one by one, just so you get a sense of what I mean by all of these. And as we continue to work together over the year plus, we're going to take every single, when you signed up for this membership, there were a bunch of different like facets that we were going to go through. And these kind of mirror those facets too. So we spent a bit of time already like on some of them, like the team. There's a whole team building series at this point. Right now, we're going through more of the kind of operation side, which is all the tools that you need, and I know the tools kind of are peppered in through a few of these different pillars, but like think about these as like the pillar systems that you need. And without all of these, your business will start to feel a little lopsided. It'll start to feel a little out of balance. And out of balance could mean lots of different things. For some of us, we have lots of clients and we're financially successful. Things are working, but we're out of balance because we don't have the team. For some of us, we have a lot of the strategy side, or we have the team, but we don't have the sales, or we don't have the operations. So it's rare, especially if you're one person or if you're a very small team. Even us, I can look at this and say, my team isn't fully what I need it to be because I still feel like I have a lot of stuff on my plate as the CEO. So these are all like, this isn't perfection. They're all works in progress, and you'll continue to like reach new pivot points, or you'll reach new places of expansion, and you'll have to like go back to the drawing board with some of these pillars and kind of rework them, or think, do we need to divert some more energy, attention, money, time to building out these pillars? But I like, as you're kind of listening to me go through them, just think like, where would you like to spend some time? Where would you like to spend some time and focus on building out any of these? And I just wanted to note too that as I'm sharing my screen, I'm not able to see my questions. So if you're watching live, or even if you're watching the replay in Facebook, feel free to type in a comment and I can circle back and answer any questions too. So I want to make sure that this feels interactive. So let's start with strategic. Now, a strategic system is, I kind of think about it in two parts. The first part is the strategies should set the tone for all of these other pillars underneath of it. So having a good strategy in mind, which what I mean by strategy is knowing what your goals are and knowing what you're looking to achieve. So when we get down to marketing or sales or how you deal with clients, we want to make sure that we can always take everything. I would be as bold as to say everything that you're doing in your business should be able to get traced back to the strategy. And the strategy should be simple, where like, what is your core, what are your 1 to 3 core goals that you're looking to achieve in your business right now? So this doesn't have to be like forever, but let's just say like 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 3 years, if you're that type of person. See, I'm not a 3-year plan. I'm like, what? I have no idea. I mean, I know that it's important, but it just doesn't really jive with my particular astrological profile, we could say. So I do more like 6 months, 6 to 18 months feel like a comfortable realm for me. I feel like in 18 months, I might want to be doing something completely different. And as I look back 18 months from now, I was doing something pretty different. So, well, not 18 months, but definitely 24 or plus. 3 years ago, definitely doing something different. So some of us know we're going to be doing this for years and years and years, and some of us need a little bit more space. So that's why I love building an online business, because you have opportunities to automate so many of your processes, so that when you're off wanting to create something new, there are versions of you and versions of your business that are out there still doing the work that you put in now. So that's having online programs, that's having funnels, that's having lead magnets, it's having paid advertising, that's having a podcast. There's all these things that we can put in place now, and that's all part of the strategy. So, and kind of long-windedly, what I guess I'm saying here too is that part of my strategy is to do work once. In typical lazy Korean fashion. I don't like to repeat myself. I don't like to keep doing the same work over and over again. That's not how I'm oriented. And as also human design as a manifesting generator, my purpose is to have lots of ideas and to iterate those ideas and to make them manifest and to most importantly move in the space of the path of my least resistance is where my most enjoyable enthusiasm is. So I need to create free space, white space. I need to be able to pivot. I need to be able to move where my energy is flowing. And that is a big part of my business strategy. And so, what does that look like in practical? If you're resonating with that and you're like, that really sounds like me, my practical is to create more automations, to create more scalable products, to have a team that's working with me. Producing really high quality deliverables so that I can free up my energy and my enthusiasm to flow in the way that it wants to, even if it doesn't mean what I'm doing now. Right. We just opened a whole podcast production wing in our business because I felt enthusiastic about that. I was like, I'm ready to create a new offering in our business, and podcasting sounds exciting. Well, if I didn't have systems, strategy that's supporting me, meaning a team that I built to essentially do the work on the ground that needs to happen for clients, I would be stuck back 6 steps behind where I would still be doing graphic design. And I needed to like have the goal that could set the strategy. So it's going to be different for your business. That doesn't mean that you have to structure it the way that I am, but knowing your kind of top end goals, like why are you doing all this business stuff? Is it location freedom? Well, then your strategy can't be around building a brick and mortar business. If you want financial freedom, your strategy can't be around needing to sell 1,000 tchotchkes in order to be profitable, right? Your pricing structure has to match with what your goals are, and your goals need to be set by you. Like this is a head and a heart and a gut kind of thing. This is where your astrology and design and this is where like you, who you are, what you want, what you see your life looking like, and what is the purpose for all of this? What is the purpose for all of this? Why are you an entrepreneur? What are you driven to create and why? Like that is the strategy. And so strategy needs to be the top level dictating the rest of these pillars. And what does that look like? Boots on the ground. And what does that look like in a practical sense? Because I'm talking a lot of more like kind of ethereal, airy strategy. Yes. But when you bring it down, it means like having a strategic system of like, how often are you sitting down? Like once a quarter, are you sitting down in strategic planning for the year? Once a week, are you sitting down and having a CEO meeting with yourself and maybe your team? But like this could also just be by yourself. And just even if you're doing everything, you still need a CEO meeting with yourself to make sure that you're not just like spinning your wheels and doing all of this busy work and it's not like corresponding to your strategy. You look at your week and you say, well, what am I doing this week? And how much of it actually corresponds back to your strategy? Well, if you don't have a strategy and you don't have goals, then you don't know what you just have no direction. Like you're not able to parse that back and say, oh, this is why I'm posting on social media. This is why I have to go to this networking event. This is why I'm engaged with clients in this way. And so you're able to actually look at every piece of what you do through the week and compare it back to your strategy. So I recommend like once a week having a CEO meeting with yourself, even if it's 20 minutes. Generally, it's good Monday mornings at the beginning before you get like into what can feel like a whitewater rafting ride of to-do lists and questions and everybody else's agenda. Because once you step in that river, like most of what you're doing is going to be everybody else's agenda. We need 20 minutes as CEOs every week to sit down match our tasks back to the strategy, make sure that what we're doing makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, then you can underline it and say, okay, this is what I need to eventually hire for. Or I need to kind of really have a good conversation with myself around, why are we doing things this way if it doesn't come back to the strategy? So I think quarterly strategic meetings with yourself, your team, weekly CEO meetings, you need that system in place, and a way to capture that information, whether that's a Google Doc or an Asana board where you just kind of write some notes, write some brainstorms. And then I like to recommend every day before you get started, when you sit down, you got your to-do list, you're about to like get started at work for the day, have that little 5-minute CEO check-in. What am I doing today? Does this match back to the strategy? And yeah, you will find things that you shouldn't really be doing that don't really match the strategy, and that will give you a good indication of what goes on the to change list. If that's hiring somebody in your team who's going to be answering those emails so that you can focus on different things, or changing your type of service or the way that you post or the way that you create content. There's lots of questions that will come from this strategy. And I spent a lot of time just talking about the strategic pillar, but that's because it really is that important. Like, it is the thing that sets the tone for everything else that I'm going to talk about gets set by the strategy. So I can't recommend enough taking the time. And any strategic questions, make sure you bring them to the group, because we can brainstorm on some strategies and questions and ideas. So moving down the pillars, next system that you need in your business is a marketing system. So this is the easiest way to understand this is lead generation. So we need a system, a pillar in place that will bring fresh eyes into our business and bring fresh leads into our business, ideally every single day. So this is kind of a broader pillar, but it encompasses things like having a podcast, posting on social media, having lead magnets, having an email mailing list, all of your social profiles, if you have a YouTube channel, any content that you create, any summits, webinars, events that you produce, going on other people's podcasts. So anything that you do in front of somebody else's audience, all of those systems are underneath of this pillar of marketing. So, but the easiest way to understand that is that marketing equals new leads. So you need something to bring in fresh people. And it's at the pillar level, it's as simple as that. It gets a little bit more complex with all of the different tactics, I guess. Then it becomes more tactical, like what's going to work for my business. Is it Facebook ads? Is it having a podcast? Is it YouTube, etc.? So after marketing, we need a sales pillar. And that's where we go from the strategic will help set the marketing plan. And the marketing will feed into the sales, because we need the marketing and we need the eyes and we need the referral partners and we need the lead generation. We need all of that. We need the fresh people, the fresh energy coming in through marketing. And then what we do is we take those people, and a portion of them will want to come through our sales process. And for the sales pillar, I want you to be, and we'll definitely be deep diving into every single one of these pillars as we go through this year. But the sales is about having if the marketing is done well, then people will have a really good sense of who you are, what your offerings are, what your unique positioning is. And that seems like a very marketing way of saying it, but that people will have a sense of how you're different, why they'd be able to articulate, why do they want to work with you versus somebody else? Why do they want to get on that sales call, that discovery call? So if your marketing is done well, it's doing the heavy lifting so that when people get to the sales part of it, it's a lot easier because the sales doesn't really feel like sales. The sales feels like you are there connecting with them, continuing to build the relationship. You're showing them how you can help them. You're showing them the offers that you have. And it's either an aligned yes for them or it's not for different reasons. And you can find out what those reasons are and help people with if you see a pattern, you can help with objections. But we need a sales channel. Usually when you first get started, you're going to be the salesperson. And generally for a while, we wind up still being the salesperson, even as we build up our team, because it's hard to like train somebody on that, find somebody that's good. And it's also like when we're first getting started, we're kind of like, it's so wearing to have somebody else in that position because you're like, man, that's my money. Like if somebody doesn't do a good job at that, like, what are we going to do? How are we going to eat? So that tends to be the thing that we keep for a while. But like I said, we'll kind of circle back and do more sales training. But for now, just understanding that one of the big pillars is sales. The next one is operations. And this is really a catch-all term for all of the things that happen on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis that keep your business running. So this could be like how you stay organized. This could be how all of the different systems that you have that come together. This would be like the flow of where your finances are, things like that. So operations is kind of like the catch-all of like operating procedures. How do you do what you do? Right. And that's pretty nebulous, but we're just going to leave that there for like the operations is just like the day-to-day running of the business. Next pillar is cash flow. That encompasses all of the bookkeeping, the finances, invoices from clients. That is having systems in place that manage the cash flow. So you're able to, at a glance, see how much money you have in the bank, how much money is coming in, and how much money is projected to come in the future. But that also encompasses creating really good systems around money too. Like, how are you putting away money for taxes? How are you paying your contractors? The more we can get organized in this pillar, the like cleaner and fresher it feels on the financial side. But it's easy to get kind of messy here. I know that I've definitely been messy here in the past. So if you are messy in the money side, give yourself a big internal hug and be easy on yourself because it's very typical. And let's make just a commitment to clean that up, to not be afraid of the numbers, to not be afraid of really diving in there. And it's a place where a lot of people have resistance. So we've got a clients pillar, and that is going to be like, especially if you're a health coach or a practitioner, or a clinician, that's going to be like the operations that are specific to clients. So for us, it's like project management because we're dealing with projects and deliverables. For you, it's going to be different. It's going to be using Practice Better to have your health records. It's like, how often do you check in with clients? Their online programs, their protocols, managing your store. Like this is kind of all of the client facing. Like once this is where we go past sales and we go into clients, and then we're kind of like marketing. If marketing is the front face and then sales is the thing that gets people in through the door saying yes, then clients is what we do on the other side. Once somebody actually becomes a client, we need systems and processes in place. And we need to be able to manage the client side of it too. And then the final pillar on our systems you need for business is team. So we need ways to communicate with our team. We need project management, dashboards to keep everybody organized. And we need really clear role delineation so people know exactly what the expectation is around them and the work that they need to do. So top to bottom, we've got strategic, we've got marketing, sales, operations, cash flow, clients, and team. So these are all the systems, and you may, depending on what type of business you have, there may be a couple of their systems that aren't represented here. This will cover most businesses, but you might need, I don't know, I can't think of something off the top of my head that would need to be on here, and that isn't represented by one of these categories, but I may be surprised. Let me just pop over here. Just wanted to see if there was any comments over here, so I'll keep going. So part 2, this is also systems that you need for your business. It's kind of broken down into 3 separate pillars. And this is a little bit more like a checklist. So if you see something on here, not everything is going to be perfectly aligned for your business. And there may be things that aren't on here that you will really need for your business. But I said this will probably get you through most businesses. I don't know what happened there. Okay, so on the left-hand side, we have front-facing systems, and that includes health records. And I would just say health records is kind of a catch-all term for a place where this is like thinking about the client side with the client pillar from back here. We need a place, especially as a practitioner, a clinician, we need a place to communicate with our clients, to keep their records, and some like Practice Better, for instance, it does like 3 of these. It's like health records, it's where you house your online program, and it's a calendar booking system too. So for front facing, we need to like have a space where we can have our online programs and protocols. We need a calendar booking system. This must be on a timer or something. Sorry about that, guys. And we need a place to store their records. I like Practice Better because it encompasses all 3. There's also other apps that do that too. For front facing as well, we need a place where we can post on social media and create graphics. I like using Canva for both of those, so that's going to be my big recommendation on the front facing side. On the team side, we have, we need something that will manage project management. We use Asana for that. We need something for file storage outside of project management. I like having an external place for file storage. 1, because it's a backup, and 2, just in case you decide to change like from Asana to ClickUp or Basecamp or Trello or something like that. You want to make sure you have a place where you've stored all your files so you don't have to move it over and or lose access to your account and lose everything. So we use Google Drive for that, but you could use Dropbox or other file storage. I like Google Drive the best. And then we needed a way to communicate with our team. So for some of us, this is Slack. For some of us, it's Voxer. And for some of us, like our team, we use our Asana project management tool and a combo of everybody having a brand better email address too. So you can do just email too. And then lastly, on the right-hand side, on the operations side, we need a place to have your mailing list. We use Kartra for that because it takes care of mailing list and the funnels and automation piece. But you could also do like ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, ConvertKit. These are some of the other more popular mailing list providers. We need a place where people can sign up to get on your email list and you can send them out emails. And that kind of works hand in hand with the next operations, which is a place to build funnels and a place for like automations. And by automations, I mean, if somebody does something, they buy something or they sign up for a mailing list, we need to be able to create automated systems so that they get an email that gets sent out to them, or they get a freebie sent, or they get added to a program, or in 14 days, we're going to follow up with them again and make sure that their program they're not having any problems with it. So these are just some examples of how you can use automations. Automations are like, there's lots of them that you can do depending on how you want to set things up, but the more automations, the better, because that means, it's less work. It's more front end work of setting them up, but then you have like, how cool is it if you send out an automation that wishes happy birthday to everybody when it's their birth month and gives them a coupon, or when you kind of automate somebody joining your program and then they get a series of emails that like upsells them into the next step. So these are all the things that you don't have to do. You programmed it to be automated by your system. We use Kartra for that. And then funnels is this really big, broad word that is kind of scary to most people. Like, funnels, like, what is a funnel? And a funnel is really just a customer journey through some pages, you know. It can start off with a Facebook ad, and it opens up a page for them to sign up for a mailing lead magnet, and then that opens up an upsell. So we need something that will build what are called landing pages for us. So they're just these simple pages that could be inside of your website or outside. Like I said, we use Kartra for this, but we have a Wix website, and sometimes we make landing pages there too. So it's kind of like a standalone page that doesn't have like really like a header or footer. It's just like there's only one thing for people to do on that page. So we want something that can make pages like that for us, and we can duplicate them. This is really great for marketing because say you have a lead magnet and you're going to be on a podcast and you want to track and see how many people grabbed your lead magnet from that training that you did on the podcast. We can duplicate that page and give it a name, podcast 101 appearance, and then you can track back the success from that. So I like to have a platform that can create funnel pages and automations and do a mailing list. Kartra is our go-to, but people also use ClickFunnels and a few other platforms to kind of like put it together there. The last two for operations are a website or store or store. I like using Wix. We use Wix with our clients, but there's also WordPress and Squarespace and Shopify and Kajabi. There's lots of options. We like Wix for the ease of using it, and the design features and functionalities, at least from our side, are pretty cool. And then you can use it for like a bunch of different things in your business too. And then lastly, we have bookkeeping, and that's just a system that you need to like keep track of all of your invoices, send out invoices, keep track of payments that you received, and then just keep also track of all of your expenses too. We use QuickBooks for that, combined with a Google Sheet that just has like kind of down and dirty, like every client and what they owe us. And I'm able to just kind of go in and just capture the payment and just highlight a box pretty much that reminds me that that person's already paid. So bookkeeping can be really simple. It can be complex. We use QuickBooks for sending out invoices because then it just syncs up with our accountant, who's able to go in and do our bookkeeping and then do our taxes at the end of the year, which was a big treat for me to finally have that level of support after doing all of it for myself. So this is basically the map that I see, where we've got front facing, we've got team, we've got operations, the three different pillars. You should be able to look here and see where the gaps are, some of the systems that you don't have. And I'll just go through one more time and just kind of talk, because if you make a note, one of the things, the reason why I wanted to do this like high level, like bird's eye view, is because I'm going through a lot of these systems over the last couple of weeks and over the next 2 weeks, going through and just doing like deep dives on the platforms that we love, especially the ones that do like double, triple duty. And you don't have to like sign up for a bunch of different things, because I'm all about efficiency. So if you hear a name that you're curious about, you want to learn more about, just search within our group and you'll be able to find some information about it. So from the health records online program calendar booking system, we recommend Practice Better. So you will be able to find some info about Practice Better, as well as a discount code, I think, for maybe 20% off. Online programs, if it doesn't have to be HIPAA compliant, that would come over here to the Kartra side. We run our online programs, including this membership, through Kartra. And that's like a one-stop program for us that we do a lot of things with. But if it needs to be HIPAA compliant, you want to be Practice Better calendar booking system. If you're a Practice Better person, that will be part of it. If you're a Kartra person, that will also be part of it. We use Calendly just because I had already had that synced up. So that's another option. Social media and graphics. Canva is our recommendation there. Project management, Asana is the one that we love. I've done some deep dives on Asana just recently. In fact, today, I did a one earlier. File storage, Google Drive, communication, either Slack or Voxer are good if you want to have like everyday quick bursts of communication with your team. You want to be able to either send a voice note or just a little like DM. We don't use that because that's not my favorite way to communicate. So we just use Asana for all of our communication. And then I like everybody on the team to have a brand better email address, especially if they're like interacting with clients. Mailing list, we use Kartra for that. Definitely recommend it. Inside of this group, you can get a free trial for 14 days. We use that for mailing lists, funnels, and automation, and we use it for our online program. You can technically set up a website there too, but I think they look a little bit old school and blocky, and so I try not to make websites there. For us, our recommended platform is Wix. And then for store, I either use Wix because you can do an online store there, or Shopify would be the other one that I would recommend. And then finally, bookkeeping is QuickBooks. And I believe in the Facebook group, I probably pinned to the top. I can't log in there now or else I'm going to hear myself echoing back because I'll be live in the group. But pinned to the top, you'll see a tools we love guide. It's the same coloring as this. It's got this little computer on it too. And that has like links to get discounts and things like that for all of these tools. Some of those links are affiliate links. And just to let you know, if we ever do affiliate links in the group, it's always for things that we already use and that we love and we recommend. So you can trust any of the links and recommendations that come out for us. And some of them are just a straight link that goes to that website. Let's see. I just want to see if there's any questions or comments that you guys have. So I can't see any questions here. If you do have one, even if it's after the broadcast is over. Sorry, I keep switching back and forth. Stop sharing my screen. Okay, back again. Even if it's after the broadcast and you're watching this later on, and if you have questions, anything about the different tools or how to set up your tech stack, how to set up your the pillars, if you have questions of going through any of like the strategy or marketing pillars. And like I said, we're going to do more deep dives as we go through with each of those ones, but I'd love to hear from you guys. Cool. Well, either I'm missing some comments that are on Facebook, in which case I'll go over and check that out in a minute, or I just can't see them coming through. Thank you for spending some time here with me today. And we're going to be moving past systems into kind of more of like the juicy, like marketing, lead generation kind of thing. But it's really good to just like set the tone for like, these are the systems that you should have in your business. These are the platforms that you need to have, because once you have those set, you don't have to worry about it. It's like that part is just like ready to go and you get to move on to the good stuff. So I'll see you guys back here again next Monday, where we will continue going through our Tools We Love series. And any questions at all, just let me know and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.